All right, let's talk about a total business nightmare. You know the one. Angry customers, complaints piling up, and just this feeling of complete chaos. But what if? What if there was a way to actually turn all that chaos into consistent, reliable quality? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into.
You know how it starts? It's just one angry email, maybe a bad review, or a super frustrated phone call. But then, what happens when it's not just one? What do you do when your company is literally drowning in feedback like this, and you have absolutely no idea where to even start?
So yeah, this isn't just a bad day, right? This is a full-blown crisis. And when problems are coming at you from every single direction, trying to put out fires one by one, it just doesn't work. You're going to burn out. What you need is a system. You need a real plan.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Imagine this list is just sitting on your desk. It's a raw, chaotic dump of everything that's going wrong. You've got paint smearing, products getting scratched, missing remotes, failing capacitors. I mean, it is just a mess. Seriously, looking at this, how would you even begin to decide what to fix first? It's totally overwhelming.
All right, this is the point where we stop panicking and start getting organized. We're going to open up what's called the TQM toolbox. TQM, that stands for Total Quality Management, and trust me, it's about to bring some serious clarity to this whole mess.
Now, TQM isn't some single rigid method. It's way better to think of it as a philosophy, a whole mindset, really. And it comes with a complete set of practical tools. The big goal here is to get everyone, and I mean everyone, from the CEO all the way down to the frontline worker, completely obsessed with getting better all the time.
Okay, so our very first step, we've got to play detective. Before we can fix a single thing, we need to figure out what the real problems are. And the TQM toolbox, it has the perfect instruments for this exact kind of investigation. Our mission is to find what they call the vital few, those few problems that are actually causing most of the pain.
And the first tool we're going to pull out is based on this absolutely brilliant idea, the Pareto principle. You've probably heard of it as the 80-20 rule. The whole idea is that for a lot of things in life, roughly 80% of your problems, your consequences, they come from just 20% of the causes. So for our company here, that means most of these complaints are probably being caused by just a handful of core issues. Our job is to find that vital 20%.
So remember that crazy, chaotic list from before? Just watch what happens when we do something super simple. We just sort it, from the most frequent complaint all the way down to the least. All of a sudden, boom, a pattern just jumps out at you. Painting, smearing, and scratching are way, way out in front. And check out that cumulative percentage column. Would you look at that? The top 3 issues alone account for over 80% of all the complaints. How wild is that?
And this chart, this just illustrates the point perfectly. This is called a Pareto diagram. What it does is transform that boring old table into a powerful visual story. I mean, it is immediately obvious that if we just fixed 2 things, the painting and the scratching, we would solve more than 60% of our customer problems. Just like that, we found our vital few. We now know exactly where to focus all our energy.
Okay, that's fantastic. So we know the what. We know what the biggest problems are. But you know, that's only half the battle, right? Now we've got to figure out the why. Why is the paint smearing in the first place? Why are the products getting scratched? To figure that out, yep, you guessed it, we need another tool from the toolbox.
And to answer that big why question, we're going to use something called a cause and effect diagram. A lot of people call it a fishbone diagram, and you'll see why in a sec. It's basically a super structured brainstorming tool that helps us map out every single possible cause for a specific problem, like our whole paint smearing issue. So we'd structure our whole brainstorm around these key categories. These are the bones of the fish, right? For the smearing paint, we'd ask, is it the person, the man, applying it wrong? Is it the machine, maybe a faulty spray gun? Is it the method, like the drawing process is too short? Or could it be the materials? We got a bad batch of paint. See? This structure forces you to think about every single angle so you don't miss anything. Okay, so once you've used tools like that fishbone diagram to really hunt down the root causes, the entire game just changes. We're not just detectives solving past crimes anymore. Now, we become architects, designing a better future. Because the true goal of TQM isn't just fixing problems, it's to stop them from ever happening in the first place. And this slide really shows that crucial mindset shift. It's all about moving from being reactive to being proactive. So instead of constantly fighting fires, you're preventing them. Instead of waiting to inspect for defects at the end of the line, you start designing processes that don't create those defects to begin with. It's a total game changer.
So the question is, how do you actually build a system like that?
Well, a really great place to start is with something called ISO 9000. Now, this isn't about the product itself, it's a standard for your process. Think of it like a globally recognized blueprint for building a quality management system, one that makes sure you consistently deliver on what you promise time and time again. And hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's where another powerful proactive tool comes in: benchmarking. It is such a simple but brilliant idea. You just find another company that is the absolute best at doing something, you study how they do it, and then you adapt their successful methods for your own organization. It's about learning from the best. Now, building these systems is great, don't get me wrong, but quality really starts to thrive when it becomes an everyday habit, when it's just woven into the very culture of the workplace. So the final tools we're going to look at are all about embedding this quality mindset into daily practical actions. And a fantastic method for this is the Japanese 5S system. It's a really clear step-by-step process for creating a clean, organized, and super efficient workplace. Basically, an environment where quality can't help but flourish. It takes you all the way from sorting out what's unnecessary to standardizing your procedures and then sustaining that discipline. The end result? An environment where problems have absolutely nowhere to hide. So, we've looked at a whole bunch of tools, right? Pareto charts, fishbone diagrams, ISO standards, the 5S system. But after this whole journey through the TQM toolbox, what's the one single thing you should really take away from all this?
Well, it's really important to remember this. None of these tools, they aren't magic wands. You can't just draw up a Pareto chart and expect all your problems to magically disappear. Their real power, where they really shine, depends on something much, much deeper.
And here it is, the real secret weapon of total quality management. It isn't a tool at all. It's the culture. It's that shared belief from the very top to the very bottom of the organization that everyone is responsible for quality, and that the search for a better way of doing things, well, that search just never, ever stops.
So, I'll leave you with this one last thought. That Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, it doesn't just apply to business. Take a second and look at your own work, your personal goals, even just your life in general. What is that vital 20% you could focus on right now that would deliver 80% of the results you're really looking for? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.